All right, everybody, welcome back to Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. And, of course, the Hercules Tires MAAC Basketball Championships are heading to Boardwalk Hall. It's March 8th through the 12th, boardwalkhall.com for tickets and info. Great league this year. It's good to have the tournament back, and hopefully it will be in its normal form. It's been a very interesting time for the MAAC in Atlantic City, and their 2020 MAAC Coach of the Year, St. Peter's coach Shaheen Holloway, is with me right now on the Sports Bash Live 97.3 ESPN. Coach, welcome back, and it's good to have you, man. How you been?
I've been good. How about you guys? Everybody safe?
We're doing good. We're looking forward to having you back here. I mean, you guys have been to Atlantic City, and it's been a very interesting go at Boardwalk Hall for you. Now, you guys have been in the hall, but it's been an empty place for the most part. It should have people there this year, so we're looking forward to the whole area is looking forward to seeing what MAAC basketball is all about.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm listening to you say that, and I'm thinking back. I'm like, wow, the last 2 years has been kind of crazy with no fans really being in attendance for the games. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's a great venue. Atlantic City is a beautiful place. It's a place where I think it could draw fans because just of everything that's around. Obviously, the casinos and a place you could go take a weekend vacation and kind of get away for a little bit.
Yeah, I know you guys played here, and you had like a 9:30 late-night game a couple when you did have some chance to play here, so you didn't get the full effect. But if we can get the schedule back going, tell our listeners, St. Peter's right now, 9-8, 7-3 in the conference. You're second there. Tell us what they should expect to see from your team. Very balanced team if they look at the numbers and just say, man, what stands out here? It seems like a very tough, balanced, very MAAC-oriented team.
You know what? We just come in and just play St. Peter's basketball. I like to play 11, 12 guys, double-figure minutes. We kind of trying to wear teams down. Play an excited brand of basketball. We get out there on the defensive end. We scratch, we claw. We fight for every possession. I'm just going to get a team that's going to go out there and play every possession like this is last. It's not going to be pretty all the time, but, you're going to appreciate if you're a college basketball fan. You appreciate the way we play.
That's the conference, too. I mean, it seems like night in and night out, you probably got bloody knuckles and scrapes on the arms. I mean, it seems like everybody in that conference is just digging and clawing, and that's why when you look at the standings, you see a very balanced top to bottom in the MAAC right now.
Well, you got great coaches in this league. Every team has a great coach, and then that's why it's so balanced. You got some veteran coaches, you got some young coaches. And I think it's a great mix. And, like you said, it's very balanced. And every night, anybody can be anybody. And, it's going to be a war. And that's kind of what the MAAC is. It's a good grind-out league. And, it's a league where, teams come in each night and battle.
Now, talk about that, Shaheen, because a lot of people who, might be a little younger, I'm 45, you're 45. I watched you play Big East, Seton Hall, all 4 years. Big East Rookie of the Year. He's one of those legendary New York guys. I mean, Marbury, God, Sham God, Holloway, you guys were all coming up at the same time. You were a great player. You just mentioned how important coaching is. A lot of times being a great player doesn't translate to being a great coach because it's so hard when you are so good at something and the players can't do what you do. How did you kind of transition from great player to then being coach of the year and being a guy, your name was sought after in the offseason for some jobs?
You know what? I think it goes back to just being humble, right? And being a fan of the game. I'm a fan of the game. I'm a student of the game. I understand the difference when I played to now is different. It's different basketball. The landscape of college basketball is completely different. So you just got to kind of believe in yourself and believe in what you do. I've been very fortunate to work for, a guy who let me kind of help him run the program, and Kevin Willard. So I learned a lot from him. And then, just when you get your own program, you kind of want to do your own things, right? And, I wanted to get guys that fit my personality and kind of fit what I wanted to do here, and guys that play the chip on their shoulder and got something to prove. And those are guys that I go out and get, and I think that's why we kind of been having such success.
St. Peter's, a lot of kids in our area, if we have parents listening, Coach Holloway, what is the traits that you recruit when you're looking? I mean, this is the kind of area that probably has kids that if they do the right things, work hard enough, that is on the map for a place like St. Peter's or Iona, Quinnipiac, Monmouth. What are you looking for when you're recruiting?
You know what? It's different. For me, I look for the underdog. I love the underdog. I love guys that is under-recruited. Like I said before, I love guys that have a chip on their shoulder, got something to prove. I love tough, hard-nosed kids. I love recruiting from this area, from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Philadelphia area, New England area, D.C. I think in this area, basketball is so rich. You got so many players that get overlooked. But I want guy that, that won more than basketball. With us is one in basketball. We have a team GPA of a 3.4, and that's very important for me. So I want guys that want to be a student athlete, not just athlete.
Coach, we'll get you out with this because obviously Iona is leading the way right now. They're having a special year, and a lot of people obviously look at them as the favorite. You'll get your chance to match up with them in a couple of days here. I think February 15th is the matchup. Obviously, with Rick Pitino there, they have put themselves on a pretty high profile. Is that a game that you guys circle to see how far you've come since you just played them the other night?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I circle every game. Every game is important, and not just counting what Coach P and that program has done. It's been unbelievable. Just him being in this league gives us a lot of credibility, and it's just good for the league that he's here. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's legendary. Iona is a great program. I coach there, so I know they got great people there, very prideful people. But I circle every game. I make sure my guys are ready for every single game, not just one particular game. So for us, we getting ready for every team that we play. We're not looking forward to playing anybody, just a team that's in front of us.
All right. You were in the Big East 96 to 2000. Now, that's right in my wheelhouse here. Iverson, you had all the Syracuse guys that kept coming in there through there. Do you have, your favorite Big East memories or moments? I feel like the Big East is just the people now don't remember what they were watching when it was all happening, and you lived it. You played it.
Yeah, it's different, right?
Very different.
I think college basketball back then was completely different than now. Not taking anything from what's going on right now. I thought back then it was you had to strap up every single night. Every night in the Big East you played against. For me, it's the reason why I went to the Big East. I played against an all-league guard, and that's something that I wanted. I wanted to, go up against the best. It's a lot of moments, right? As a freshman, at the time, I broke the three-point record. Hit 9 threes in the game. So that has been shattered, right? Guys shooting threes now. It's 10 or 11 or 12. Just having the opportunity to, my senior year of being in the tournament and hitting the game-winning shot in the tournament, and that's stuff that you watch as a kid. I watched Ty Zetny do it. I watched multiple people do it, and for me to have the opportunity to do it was unbelievable. For us to make a run to the Sweet 16, was great. So, there's a lot of moments for me, on a personal level and as a team level. But I think one of the biggest moments just hitting the game when it's trying to NCAA tournament.
That was a pleasure. Kerry Kittles, Tim Thomas, Troy Bell. Billy Curley was a name I threw out the other day. Remember Billy Curley? Boston College. Yeah, Boston College.
Yeah, Boston College. That's when they had, I think Abrams, they had an unbelievable team.
Yeah, Austin Crow, Sheer God, Sham God, Iverson. Anybody ever remember what happened to, what was the guy who played with
Victor
Iverson
Page.
there? Victor Page. Yes. Victor Page.
He was incredible, man. He had an incredible backcourt. I think every team now, you look at the Villanova team, and you think about it, you had Tim Thomas and, you had
Kittles.
And John Celestin and Mike Williams and those teams. It was, every night, look at the St. John team, you had Felipe Lopez and then Hamilton and Ron Artest. It was
people forget. Ron Artest played at St. John's. Yeah. That's right. My God.
Yeah, LeVar Postel, Eric Barkley. With us, we had Sam Ballenberry, Lavelle Sanders. Every night, back then, West Virginia was in the Big East. They had all those people. Cincinnati. It was just every night.
Well, I was at West Virginia. That's where I got to see you play. You guys are in Morgantown. I know we weren't that good at that time. We were just getting into the league.
No. You guys was good. I remember the story. I think it was my first year.
Yeah.
And my team didn't tell me about the starting lineup. We do the starting lineup, and the Musketeer, shot the gun off. It scared the heck out of me. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, what the heck is that? And they didn't warn me about that, but I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a tough place to play, and it was fun because I was there right when you were there. So I got it, as you just mentioned, you just reeled off some great names, some great teams. There was so much fun being a fan of watching that, and it would be great to see college basketball get to that high profile. I don't know if it ever will with everybody that leaves early.
You know what?
Well,
I'll tell you, though, the new Big East is really exciting, too. I had a chance to coach in it for 8 years. Adding teams like Marquette and adding teams like, Xavier and Creighton and DePaul.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helped just based upon, geographic in areas where basketball is big, like in Chicago with DePaul, like basketball is huge, right? Xavier, look what they've done the last 10 years. Look what Creighton done the last 10 years. It's unbelievable. Right?
Yeah. You're right because, Providence is still there. Villanova's still there. UConn's still there. People forget, how good UConn. We talked about some. We didn't even throw UConn. You had Khalid Alameen out there. You had Donnie Marshall, Danielle Marshall. Man.
Richard Hamilton, unbelievable. And, for me, it was great because a lot of those guys played in my era in the McDonald's All-American game in the 96 class. That class was legendary. And a lot of these names that you're saying, a lot of guys that played in it. And it's good to have UConn back. UConn has been a staple for the Big East. You look at basketball garden, you could go to the Big East tournament. It used to be UConn and Syracuse just filling the garden with fans.
Unbelievable time. Yeah, I'm in Morgantown. We hadn't won a Big East game yet. It's our first year in the Big East. We're beating Georgetown by 20. And Iverson scored probably 25 in the last 15 minutes and knocked us out. I mean, I said, I'm watching somebody unbelievable special. But you saw that every night. I see Holloway come in and do the same thing. I mean, it was crazy watching hoops like that.
No, you know what? You bring back a lot of memories right now.
Well, I appreciate it.
It's funny because I never talk to my team about me and my basketball career. I kind of just leave it all about them. But, sitting here and talking basketball and reminiscing, it brings back it brings a smile on my face because it can tell you, just the good players that they had in the league and what the league had done for college basketball. I mean, the Big East, and no disrespect to any league, the Big East to me is always going to be the best college basketball league.
I agree. Shaheen Holloway, the head men's basketball coach. He's the 15th coach at St. Peter's. He is the 2020 MAAC Basketball Coach of the Year. They will be in town. Go check out his team and the tournament at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, March 8th through the 12th. Coach, I appreciate your time. And if you don't want to tell your team about you and you want me to come there that night, I'll let them know what player you were because I enjoyed watching you, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. Stay safe.
All right. Coach Shaheen Holloway right here on the Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. And don't forget, you can get your tickets at boardwalkhall.com, and that's the MAAC Basketball Championship. Now, there's a guy who could play right there. Seton Hall. I know we got some Seton Hall alums in the audience today. You remember Holloway. He's part of that whole New York God Shamgod from Providence. You had Stephon Marbury, who went to Georgia Tech. You had, Holloway right there. I think he went to high school at St. Pat's, and that's, a legendary North Jersey high school. He gets recruited by a bunch of schools, and he decides to stay home and go to Seton Hall. And keep in mind, he coached at Iona. He was an assistant there, which is now head coached by Rick Pitino. He then goes to Seton Hall, his alma mater. He's there for about 8 years. Kevin Willard's the guy he mentioned. Gets his own team, St. Peter's. He was up for a couple of jobs this offseason. He's a name to keep an eye on and always appreciate. He was on a couple of years ago when the tournament was here. Shaheen Holloway, the head coach at St. Peter's. All right, I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. We got a lot more coming up today. We'll get back into some football, Sixers, of course, this Ben Simmons article. It's all right here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN.